Does the replication and duplication of reps cause there to be too much competition? That's what we're going to talk about today. All right, so what happens here is that anti-network marketing people push the idea that network marketing is bad because it saturates the market too fast, all right, and doesn't set territorial restrictions. All right, so let's dive into that. I'm going to give you sort of the source of where this came from. So among the most vulnerable to these pyramid schemes are people in smaller towns and rural areas. Market saturation prevents growth in a small town because once everyone you know starts selling it, no one can make any money, and you've essentially created your own competition. All right. So I underlined a particular part of that, in other words, if you've been following me, you know I always spot one particular item and I show you the falsehoods. In other words, person who's the journalist or whatever, they make a position and then below that position they embellish and they state things that are false. Right there. So it's no one can make any money. Well, I happen to live in a very small farm town. Okay? And I grew up in a small farm town. And so perhaps this might have had some merit prior to the 1800s, right? Because 1876 to be exact, because that was the invention of the telephone. Because I don't know anybody in a small town that doesn't know someone outside the small town. All right? And it's almost far better if somebody lives in a small town to be in network marketing, because then they can make worldwide income but live where they want to live. All right, so that's my experience with it. And also back then we only had 1.2 billion people, and now we're at over 7 billion people in the planet. Okay, so a lot of those are not accessible to network marketing. I acknowledge that. But still, there's a lot of people. And it's like, I don't know, every 10 years, every 15 years, something like that, another billion tack on. So the market is huge. We've got the internet. And so that is completely irrelevant. All right. And then also I saw an article and it said that in the state of California, 1 agent for every 5 people in California. All right. So that's real estate. So for every 5 people, there's 1 real estate agent. That puts it at about 8 million agents. Now, in the article, it said that appears to me like a whole lot of real estate agents getting their license and doing nothing, which is also the case in network marketing. There are a lot of people who, in essence, get their license or become a distributor by signing an agreement and paying $30, but yet they don't do anything with it. All right, and so I think it's the same here. And 8 million agents, I've never seen a convention, a network marketing convention in one state have 8 million people present. Never had it. Okay, I don't even know if there's a stadium that big. Okay, territories. All right, so this one is near and dear to my heart. The problem is that there are no territorial restrictions on most MLM organizations. Problem, huh? All right, so this is one of those smack in the faces, but it's just the realness of it. Lazy sales reps want territories. Okay, so it is common in some practices. Let's say that you sell farm equipment, just because farm just is on my mind right now. And so you work a small town and they don't want 15 or 20 people coming in trying to sell the same John Deere tractor. All right. And so what they want to try to do with this is to set particular boundaries that says this sales rep is in charge of this geographic territory. And then this other sales rep is in charge of this one over here. And so people say that this is a problem. Well, a few people, 1 or 2. But here's the challenge. Okay, so number one, we're not selling farm equipment. We're selling something that people need, and they need it every week normally, or every month normally. And so it's not even the same category, right? And normally people know people. Even when you run advertisements, people know people and things like that. So when you generate leads online or something, that happens. And here's the biggest challenge with territories. While everybody, the lazy people, want territories to kind of lock down their area, what does it also do? Right? It's the thing that's wrong with fortresses, is that you're locked in. So you can't go outside of that. And that is the real limitation. It's limiting, right? It stops you from basically building an organization worldwide. And that is the sweet spot in network marketing. Why wouldn't you want currencies coming out of France and out of Italy and out of China and all over the world? Why wouldn't you, right? That is the most strong position that you could get in terms of currencies, in terms of diversification of your portfolio, multiple streams of income. However you want to say it, that's the sweet spot, right? Okay, so the biggest thing there I want to tell you is that while lazy people don't want anybody else in their territory, it's restrictive because you can't get out of your territory. All right, so territories create limits, all right? People who focus on limits are trying to lose, all right? So I've just noticed that very, very often around those areas is those people are afraid of other people getting into their territory. And so they don't want to lose. And so people focus on that limit. These are my two favorite graphics that I've ever seen on the internet. Okay, so this is a horse who is tied to a plastic chair, and this is a dog tied to a plastic water bottle, one of those small water bottles. And I think that this one, sometimes the thing that is holding you back is all in your head. And I believe that that's what's going on with people who want territories. Okay, so let's talk about competition for just a second, all right? So, and really what I'm talking about is the beating out of someone, all right? So you've got to beat someone. My son, 8-year-old son, just played in his first jiu-jitsu tournament, and there's only one first place. There's only one second place, etc., right? So that's challenging, that's competition. You've got to beat the other person out for that position. And I love competition in sports. I've played sports, pretty much my whole life. And I like competition with myself. Okay, so I like to, when I do weight training, I love to try to always do a personal best every week, get a new personal best every week. But I challenge myself in that. Now, in the military, I found limitations in the whole world of competition. I found that I didn't enjoy that one at all. Now, I loved it from the standpoint that it would challenge me, like if we were racing or something like that. But when it came to earning money, I didn't like it at all. And the reason being is because you had to have a time frame, like 2 years, before you were up for your next advancement. So it didn't matter how well or how much you performed in a year or two, because you couldn't get a new advancement until the time period, okay? And then I had to, and the more I went up the ranks, right? So all the enlisted people started E1, and all the officers started O1. And so in order for us, once we got up into the E4, E5 range, the government would only allow so many E4s across the entire military, or E5s or E6 or whatever, right? They would limit it. And so that means that someone had to retire or somebody had to die in order for anybody to advance. Okay? And so that is the kind of competition that I didn't like, because I like to get it done, make money, and then move on. Okay? So that was the game I like to play, or I like to play in network marketing. Okay? So now, what I love about network marketing is that it doesn't have that. That's the thing that I love probably the most, next to residual income. Okay, so I want you to picture a movie theater, right? And so what you see in this image here is you see a limited number of seats. You see a limited space in terms of walls 4 corners all the way around you, right? 4 walls around you. A fire marshal is going to limit the number of people who would be able to stand on the sides. Limit, 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 right? That's what you see here. Where network marketing, it's very, very different, because a network marketer comes in, and by coming in, it generates a new seat in the theater. It expands the walls just a little bit. The fire marshal authorizes it. Okay, that's what happens anytime a new person joins network marketing. And likewise, when one person quits network marketing, then it shrinks by 1 chair. It shrinks the walls a little bit, okay? Because it's self-generating. And it can expand as big, wide, tall, deep as there are people, all right? That's the thing I absolutely love about it. And it's why me and other people are able to create millionaires. Like I've created 57 in 7 years. I know a lot of people, and I've got a lot of buddies in network marketing, and they create millions. I have, let's see, 29 people who earn more money than me, higher ranked than me, right? That is a limitless type of a business, all right? And that's the kind of business that you really want, okay? And then just as a summary, network marketing has not saturated yet. People talk about that it can saturate, but the oldest company is still in business. It still grows. It has cycles of up and down, but it still ultimately grows. And so it's not happened yet. The second thing is that network marketing works best with no territorial boundaries. And you don't have to beat out anyone in network marketing. In other words, the company doesn't say we're only going to have one top-level person, right? So let's say the top-level person, I don't know, maybe makes $1 million, $2 million a year or something like that. They don't say there's only one. There can be 20. There can be 100. It doesn't matter, okay? And that normally isn't the case in any other business that I know of. And then network marketing expands and contracts. Everyone earns the same because everybody has the same compensation plan. If you like this video, do me a favor and comment down below. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video.